family. So all I'm saying is that this leadership should have known that when it comes to that, the role of the party situation is significantly reduced. It is really other things. I'm disappointed that it didn't occur to such seasoned politicians and seasoned MPs. I'm particularly concerned about my friend, the nice gentleman, Fiifi Kwetey, because Fiifi Kwetey has had a personal experience of this. He had been nominated for a position in 2009, Deputy Minister of Finance, working with Dr. Dufour. Fiifi Kwetey had poured out so much vitriol in the 2008 elections with his setting the record straight. He had been dastardly on Kufuor's integrity. He had been hard-hitting on Akufo-Addo, calling Akufo-Addo all sorts of names. Fiifi Kwetey had become the kingpin of the NDC's vitriol campaign in 2008. The propaganda secretary whose dislike for the MPP goes beyond measure. This was Fiifi Kwetey in January 2009, nominated by Professor Mills to become the Deputy Minister for Finance. See this video in which Adom-Otchere, the Member of Parliament for Chebi at the time, begins the questions with Fiifi Kwetey. I'll come back after the video and I'll show you in the vote that elected Fiifi Kwetey. There's a Joy Online story that shows that some MPP people broke ranks to elect him. Let's start with the video. Here's Adom-Otchere.
I just want to be clear in my mind as to whether the nominee has been sued. Very well. Fiifi, I am very much concerned about your capacity to tell the truth. I'm very much concerned about it. You come across as somebody who is very strong on issues, very strong, sometimes very insulting. And if you look at the editorial of your newspaper, which is just dated 9th March 2009, that's today's issue, I was a bit scandalized that some serious verbal assault was launched on the former President Kufuor and also Osafo Maafo. This time out, with your indulgence, let me refresh his memory on what has been captured. Very interesting. Osafo Maafo is yesterday's man. Mr. Yao Osafo Maafo was once a Minister of Finance and Economic Planning under the senseless, wasteful former MPP government led by J.A. Kufuor, alias 50%. Alias 50%. And then when the editorial goes on to say that it also takes us into the mind of the minority in Parliament and the mischievous spirit operating within them. And it goes on to say that concerning Osafo Maafo, it is either dementia is setting in because of old age, or Osafo Maafo is woefully criticizing the budget to score cheap political points for his party, and so on and so forth. Fiifi, I think that, seriously speaking, this does not mark you out as a very civil person who should be given such a high office of Deputy Minister of Finance, because you didn't insult another man to make a point. How are you going to fit into this role if this is your frame of mind and disposition? That's my first question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The honorable member clearly.
Okay, so this is Fiifi Kwetey. This is his vetting. Very brutal. Very, very brutal like that. About him, the committee could not hold unanimity. So the matter had to go before the House. It was very rare in those days, but it occurred with Fiifi Kwetey because the lost love and bad blood between himself and even the MPP MPs and the MPP party was quite worrying, significant. Now let's get to the story of the vote on the Fiifi Kwetey. Let's put that story up in a minute and see. Okay, so this is the story. 4 NPP MPs defied party to approve Fiifi Kwetey in 2009. Mutala claims. Is that not a story that follows? Okay, yeah, this is it. Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Ibrahim Mohammed Mutala, has alleged that the New Patriotic Party was the first party to have its lawmakers disobey the party over approval of ministerial nominees. He explained that it is rare to point at a rejected ministerial nominee under the 4th Republican Constitution. It was instructive to note that the MPP's members of Parliament in 2009 defied the party to pass a Deputy Finance and Economic Planning Minister designate. The nominee happened to be a sitting MP for Ketu South at the time. Fiifi Kwetey was the nominee. He is the current General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. In this 4th Republic, I don't think we have ever had a minister rejected, and I'll give you an example, blah, 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 blah. So,